Alright, you guys, it's me again. I am going to be talking today about one of my personal favorites. And you would probably think that from my shirt that I'm going to be talking about Nightmare on Elm Street. Not, not today. That is one of my favorites, but not Nightmare on Elm Street today. Today I'm going to actually be talking about the first Friday the 13th. This is actually part of my DVD box set of Nightmare on Elm Street, or on Elm Street. Hello, stop, rewind, and play. Box set of Friday the 13th. Hello, hockey mask. I should just know that on instinct. But yeah, so first one, the very first Friday the 13th with Mrs. Voorhees right there. Um, uh, uh, Betsy Palmer, by the way. Sorry, brain fart. So yeah, starring Betsy Palmer right there. Adrienne King, Kevin Bacon, little Kevin Bacon, one of his first movies. I know he was in Animal House like 2 years before this movie, but you know one of his earlier movies. And this classic gem came out in 1980. So, you know, it's been a while. It's 36 years old, which is, and just gotta say, rest in peace, Mrs. Voorhees, Betsy Palmer, and Crazy Ralph. Walt Gorney, I believe his name was, and then rest in peace, Laurie Bertram as well. So she also passed away in, I think, 2007. I think she was one of the well, no, because Betsy Palmer. But besides Betsy Palmer, I think she was one of like the latest people from the first one to pass away. But you know what? You know, a little shout out to them because you know, without any one of those characters, I don't think this movie would have been what it is today. So yeah, so this, like I said, came out in 1980. This was one of my. I know I've said this before. This was one of like my first movies that I'd ever. One of my first horror movies, I should say, that I'd ever seen. Like I said before, I saw the first one of Nightmare on Elm Street and the first Halloween, all kind of like pretty close together. Um, and also too, like I'd seen quite a few of the sequels because I was born in '84, so by the time I was kind of like watching these when I was like 3, 4, 5 years old, most of these already had most of their sequels already released and everything. So I'd always see it on TV and stuff and rent them and stuff at video stores and whatnot. Sorry for the foot. Um, but yeah, like this one, I just feel like this is you know, a very like simple sort of horror movie, which I feel like a lot of like the ones that I've seen. Sorry, itchy. Um, you know, thinking back now, like you know, I feel like it's especially comparing to like what we have now and everything, and not think it's what we have, what's released nowadays or anything, but I just feel like back then. Maybe because you know horror is really starting to catch on and like experimenting and like it kind of not you know doing the whole sort of like trend of doing whatever Alfred Hitchcock was doing or something like Carrie again. You know this helped brought about the whole like slasher movement and kind of like taking different risks and everything and kind of um, exploring like you know the special effects, like let the special effects kind of like be a character into itself, let some of the you know special effects be carry some of the movie and tell some of the story and everything, but you know done in such a good way where it's still kind of simple, very easy. It's not like every single second it's like crazy. Although some movies, even back then, were very like gore heavy and stuff. Like like Evil Dead, very horror heavy. Yeah, not what I'm trying to say. Very gore heavy, which I love that. You know, like little cut, yeah, let's have like 50 million gallons of blood. I think that's awesome. But I feel like this, very simple, same thing with like Halloween and stuff. I mean, I think that's what, um, where do you go? Here you go. You're not getting in there. Anyway, what I was trying to say was, I just feel like it was very simple. Like it, um, just you could put these in and just kind of, if you were doing something else, like if you're folding laundry or something, you can kind of like be able to fold laundry, kind of look at the TV screen and continue what you're doing and like look away every now and then. You don't have to like instantly watch every single second of this, or especially too, it's like, oh, I know this kill's coming. You're watching. But yeah, I just love this movie. Like, like I said, it's pretty simple. I feel like it's a pretty simple movie, pretty simple plot and everything. A little bit of you get the sort of like the reasoning why, like, the killer, who's obviously Mrs. Voorhees. Everyone knows by now that Mrs. Voorhees was the killer, the original killer. Like, I like that she was kind of like, oh, my son drowned because, all the counters were off boning and everything. It's like, nice little revenge movie. Like, if something like that ever happened to me, like if I drowned or something because of, like, the negligence of, like, camp counselors or something, I really hope that my mom would, like, make me proud and, like, avenge my death. Just saying. I think she would. She would. Mm-hmm. Um, but yeah, I love watching this movie. Um, in like, um, like I've said before, it's, I saw that fairly young. I was pretty young at the time. And I love it. Like, anytime I pop this movie in, I always kind of get a little bit of, like, that nostalgia, from, like, or, like, that same feeling of excitement that I would get when I would watch these when I was a kid, whenever they're on TV, or I'd check them out from the video store. Um, and honestly, and it's very well done. I like it. And I know Sean S. Cunningham is very open about, like, yeah, he basically ripped off Halloween. He was just like, all right, let's find a holiday and let's pretty much rip off Halloween. But like, he totally did rip it off, but at the same time, I feel like he did make his own sort of um, story and everything, his own kind of unique story. Not because when I watch it, like, yeah, that it is kind of like a direct rip off of Halloween, but I don't really feel that when I'm watching it. I do feel like I'm watching a genuine, like, original script. Like, I feel like there are movies that I've seen, and it's like, okay, no, that totally is a direct ripoff of this movie or that movie, whether it's in horror or, you know, drama or, action movies or whatever. But, I like I said, I don't feel like, when I watch it, I don't feel like, oh god, like, that's a direct ripoff of Halloween. I don't get that. I don't feel that. Like, I know, like I said, I know he pretty much ripped off Halloween, but I feel like he did a good job in doing his own sort of movie of, like, oh yeah, I could, he saw Halloween and was like, I could do that. I can make a movie like that. You know. Although something that kind of, like, I just kind of thought of with the title, because I was kind of talking about Mrs. Voorhees and, like, how she was um like, at the end, where she was like, oh yeah, she was avenging her son's death because of, he drowned when he was a kid or whatever. Um, so yeah, so, like, Friday the 13th is, like, she says, Friday the 13th was her son's birthday and everything. But it's like, that's never again mentioned in the rest of the series. I just feel like, whenever it's mentioned, like, oh, every Friday the 13th. And it's never questioned why or anything, why Friday the 13th. It just cause Friday the 13th. I don't know. I just, like, I mean, it's not even a big deal, but like I said, I literally just kind of thought of it of, like, that's never, like, other than like, oh yeah, every Friday 13th, you know, Jason comes out. Except for parts 3, 4, and 5, who where they start on Friday 13th and that run of the movies end on like the 15th or something. Don't tell anyone. Long, long birthday weekend, I guess, for Jason that year. I don't know. But yeah, I just think it's kind of interesting that they don't really mention that aspect of like, oh yeah, he killed everyone on Friday 13th because that was his birthday or something. You know, did he die on Friday the 13th too, or was it just that he was born? Because I'm trying to like think about that. You know, whatever though. But yeah, this I love this movie, and I love like the ending and everything. I know I've stated before in other videos where it, you know, that ending where Alice is in the boat and she's kind of trailing her fingers in the water. You know, it's morning and she sees cops come, and you know she's kind of like looking, and then boom, you know, here comes Jason, all like mildewy and mossy and everything, and he's, you know, taking King's character over into the water and stuff. Like that always kind of scared me. And it's like I look at it now, I watch it now, I'm like, why did that scare me so much? Like I don't even know why. Like, but that part though, like up until maybe I was like 12, I could not watch that part. Like I knew it was coming, and I'm like, no, 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 no. Like I couldn't watch it. But you know, like I said, now it's like I watch that scene and I'm like, what was I so scared of? Like I don't even know. But yeah, this love this movie. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna kind of wrap it up though for this movie. You know, I'm not gonna go like totally when I talk about some of these movies, like you guys have checked out some of my videos. Like I don't go into like great detail about a lot of the story and plot line and stuff, especially stuff like this where I know, you know, a lot of people, most people have already seen those movies. And on YouTube alone, there's so many different videos of people like talking through like the plot line and storylines and everything, and like what happens and everything. It's been done so much that like, you know, I feel like you guys don't really need me to like recycle that information again. So a lot of these movies, you know, like Friday 13th, Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street and stuff, I'm just gonna literally just kind of like talk about like my thoughts on them and stuff and my little 2 cents. You know, I'll kind of spare you from having to listen again to like plot lines and storylines and stuff. So just, you know, um, but yeah, so, you know, for those of you who haven't watched this or haven't maybe seen it in a while, go ahead and watch it. It's one of those movies I feel like it's always a good one. If you're like, I don't know what to watch tonight, it's always a good one. Friday 13th, first one, even the second one, which I'll eventually talk about. Um, you know, it's always a good one to kind of throw on just to like, you know, good classic horror movie, old cheap horror movie that was done right. Watch it, check it out, you know. So, but until next time, you guys, I will keep you posted on other movies I'm doing and stuff. And until then, you guys stay cool and classy.